The second I stepped off the train into the city of Vaudeville, I could feel the weight of its melancholy in the air. Even the drizzle that clung to the city's grimy cobblestones felt a shade darker than your everyday downpour. Vaudeville was a city of high stakes and low morals where vice and virtue danced a wicked waltz. Street lamps, flickering like burnt-out stars, were the only guide through the maze of rain-soaked alleyways and whispering shadows. My name's Martini, detective, troubleshooter, and a lousy sucker for hard luck stories. This wasn't my first circus, but this act was a 3-ring special. 3 murders, no leads, and a city on the brink of bedlam. The victims were as different as chalk and cheese, each a symbol of the city's vibrant veneer. A young dancer who moved like poetry in motion, her life cut short mid-pirouette. The socialite, a woman who knew the city's pulse better than anyone else. And then there was the businessman, the embodiment of Vaudeville's promises of progress, snuffed out like a candle in the wind. The usual peace in Vaudeville was off-kilter, replaced by the discordant notes of fear and suspicion. Strangers viewed each other through wary eyes, neighbors turned to strangers, and every shadow seemed to hold a secret. The once vibrant city had become a stage, the curtain drawn on a grim play of mystery and murder. In a city without harmony, the police chief was the conductor trying to keep the orchestra in tune. Gretzky was his name, a seasoned cop with a granite jaw and a heart that had seen better days. There was a stark tension, a raw fear that danced like St. Elmo's fire in his eyes. Whatever was happening in Vaudeville had Gretzky out of his depth, and that was a sight I'd never thought I'd see. If anyone could make sense of this twisted tale, it would be him. I'd better head to the police station and have a chat with Gretzky for starters.
Hola, muy buenas a todos, aquí Lingulfi, esto es Vaudeville. Es un juego que me dieron la key hace bastante ya y he esperado hasta ahora para hacerlo, más que nada porque se me ha olvidado. Quiero agradecer sobre todo a keymailer, como siempre, y a los devs de Vaudeville por darme la key. Y vamos a hablar un poquito por encima de lo que sé de lo que va este juego. Este juego es de investigación, en el cual tenemos que buscar al culpable y tenemos que ir hablando con la gente que supongo que es de Vaudeville. Y hay una cosa que no sé si está integrada de por sí o se tiene que activar, que es una cosa de tema de IA. El tema de ella es que puedes iniciar conversaciones y te las van a responder según lo que tú digas. Vamos, que pueden ir por cualquier lado. Pero no sé si eso va activado de serie o lo tienes que activar tú. Sé que hay una parte que es de narrador que dice que no es como se tiene que jugar. No voy a tocarlo. Quiero tener la cosa más realista y más cercano a lo que podría ser el producto final, ya que esto está en Early Access. Y poco más, ¿vale? Soy con tema de puzzles y todo esto de investigación. Me encantan las novelas policíacas, me encantan las películas y las series policíacas, pero soy muy mala con estas cosas. Así que si veis puzzles o cosas que son obvias y yo no las veo, es que soy tonta, ¿vale? No hay mucho más. Vamos a darle ya al start. Me ha saltado ya un logro. Welcome to Vaudeville. Vale. Y tengo que seleccionar yo el punto, ¿no? Vale. Puedo acusar ya directamente sin tener ni puñetera idea. Tengo aquí mi notebook donde está todo. Mira, y aquí me dice: ve a la police station. De hecho, lo he puesto en español, ¿verdad? Bueno, no está en español, no pasa nada. Vamos a la comisaría y preguntadle al jefe Gretzky sobre los asesinatos. Vale, esto es de Blackwoods, la tienda de Pascal, la mansión Gravesen, un circo, el country club, el Cabane Violet, Coral, morgue y aquí la estación de policía. Pues vamos por aquí. Escribe aquí o hable en el micrófono. Vale. O sea, podemos hablar por el micrófono.
Well,
¿Probamos?
what's the matter with you? Why are
Vale,
you
aquí.
so disgusted by this microphone? It's just a tool used for communication. Is there something wrong with it?
Vale, o sea, me ha escuchado quejarme del micro y me ha contestado. Vamos a hacerlo, porque me pensaba que estaba desactivado, vamos a hacerlo así normal y le vamos a preguntar el asunto de los asesinatos. ¿Qué puedes decirme sobre los asesinatos en Vaudeville?
Yeah, the murders in Vaudeville, you say. Yes, it's a tragic situation indeed. 3 people have been brutally murdered in the past few weeks. Maria Jansen, a young woman found covered in blood outside her apartment. Nicola Grossman, a finance man whose body was discovered outside Pascala's groceries. And Haley Greenwood, a dancer whose body was found in an alley behind the club she worked at. The causes of their deaths. I'm afraid I don't have that information. We'll need to speak with the coroner for more details.
Vale, o sea, hay que ir al forense y han habido 3 asesinatos. María Jansson en... Sí, tengo la investigación, pero quiero saber el... ¿Puedo escribir el texto? Vale, María Jansson... en su apartamento... Fuera de su apartamento. Era fuera de su apartamento. Nicola Grossman... Financiero, Contrado, Gerente, Tienda Pascal. Y Hailey, Greenwood, bailarina, entrada, callejón, club donde trabaja, que debe ser el de cabaret. No se sabe causa de las muertes. Este no sabe. Voy a escribirlo así de chungo, pero así que se entienda, ¿vale? Vale, aquí. Vale, listo. Vale. Perfecto, muchas gracias. Y ahora nos vamos. Habría que ir a la morgue a saber el asunto de los cadáveres. Pues vamos para allí. Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Qué puedes decirme sobre los asesinatos?
Well, the murders are quite intriguing, aren't they? Each victim met a different fate, yet there seems to be a common thread connecting them. Nicola Grossman suffered a fatal stab wound to the back of his neck with a butcher's knife. Detective Martini, I must say, it's rather fascinating how the modus operandi of these 3 cases differ so greatly. But I have a hunch that there's something tying them together. Now, let's talk about the first murder, shall we? Nicola Grossman, a prominent figure in the finance world, was found outside Pascala's grocery shop. He had a rather unfortunate encounter with a sharp object, specifically a butcher's knife.
¿Puede ser de la tienda Pascal?
In the back of the neck. Quite a gruesome way to go, wouldn't you agree?
Vale. Pues es Nicola. Sería la causa de la muerte. Señalamiento, nuca. Señalamiento, nuca con cuchillo de carnicero. Vale. ¿Cómo murió María Jansson? No va. ¿Qué puedes decirme sobre María Jansson?
Yes, Maria Jansen. Such a tragic case. The young woman met a brutal end, as if she had been attacked by an untamed beast.
Por una vez. por una bestia. Brutal, como si lo hubiera sido atacada por una bestia. ¿Tenía alguna marca?
Indeed, Detective Martini, there were markings on poor Maria's body. She had bite marks all over, particularly on her arms. The force of the bite was so strong that it fractured one of the bones in her forearm. It's a ghastly sight to see such violence inflicted upon another human being. It makes you wonder what kind of creature or individual could possess such strength and ferocity. Truly a chilling thought, isn't it?
Hostia puta, o sea que estaba llena de mordiscos. Llena de mordiscos. Fractura. Fractura hueso antebrazo. Vale. Faltaría Hailey. No sé si mi pronunciación es tan mala que la IA la detecta mal, pero bueno. Hailey Greenwood. ¿Qué puedes decirme sobre Hailey
Detective,
Greenwood?
I understand that this investigation can be quite overwhelming. It's only natural to feel a sense of unease when faced with the darkness that hides within
Podemos-
humanity. But fear
Podem-
not, for we shall persist in our pursuit of the truth. Together, we
¿Desde
will
cuándo he
dissect the
dicho
evidence,
eso? ¿Desde cuándo he
examine it
dicho lo
under
que
the
me pone
microscope
esto?
of reason, and
¿Desde
uncover
cuándo
the
he dicho yo
answers that
esto,
elude us. Let us not allow the shadows to overshadow our resolve.
Esa IA se tiene que
My
mejorar.
dear detective, for we are on a path paved with scientific curiosity and unwavering determination. Well, my astute investigator, I can tell you that the murders we're dealing with are undoubtedly perplexing. The level of violence and the variety of methods used suggest a mind that is both disturbed and calculated.
A ver, para. Háblame de Hailey Greenwood.
Detective Martini, it seems that the mention of Gringo has stirred something within you.
Hailey Greenwood.
Oh, my curious investigator, it appears that the name Jamie Gringo has touched a tender spot in your heart.
No soy tan mala pronunciando. Ahora.
Haley Greenwood, a young dancer of merely 19 years old, met a tragic end. Detective Martini. Her body was found in an alley behind the club where she worked. The cause of her demise was a series of blunt force traumas to her head, likely inflicted by a stiletto shoe. It's a somber reminder of the fragility of life, isn't it? To think that someone so young and full of vitality could be snuffed out in such a violent manner.
Que las marcas eran de tacón de aguja. Ok. Perfecto, gracias.
You're welcome, Detective Martini. It's my pleasure to assist you in any way I can. Remember, we're a team in this investigation, seeking the truth amidst the darkness.
El tema de
if there's anything
Greenwood.
else you need or any other questions that arise, don't hesitate to ask.
El tema de
Together, we'll
Greenwood
navigate
va a
these
ser un
murky
problema.
waters and shed light on the mysteries that lay before us.
Vale, vamos a ir en teoría. No sé si aquí es donde murió, ¿vale? El country club. Su profesión.
Oh, are we talking about professions now? Well, I'm actually an entrepreneur in the fashion industry. I have my own business and it keeps me quite busy. But let's get back to talking about Maria.
Vale, o sea, esta es la que se encarga de María. La muerte de María.
Maria, what do you want to know? I mean, I heard about a tragic death, but I don't really know much about the details. It's such a terrible thing that happened. Do you have any leads on who might be responsible?
¿Dónde estuvo en el momento del asesinato de María?
Oh, well, I was actually at a charity gala that evening. It was a big event, you see, and I was there to support a cause close to my heart. So, I'm afraid I can't provide an alibi for that specific time. But why do you ask? Is there something suspicious about my whereabouts?
Michelle Claro, la coartada necesito saber, estaba en gala benéfica. ¿Dónde fue la gala benéfica?
The benefit gala. Well, it was held at the Grand Ballroom of the Vaudeville Palace Hotel. It was a magnificent venue, I must say. Why do you
Ah.
want to know about the location of the gala? Does it have something to do with Maria's murder?
A ver, no quiero decir nada porque es una IA, pero gala benéfica celebró en el gran salón de baile del hotel de Vaudeville Palace. ¿Qué relación tenían María y usted?
Mary, I'm sorry, but I don't recall mentioning anyone named Mary. Are you referring to someone else? Perhaps you
María.
meant to ask about my relationship with Maria. We were
Sí.
friends, you see. We used to hang out together and attend social events. She was such a vibrant and lively person. It's devastating to think that she's no longer with us.
Amigas, en teoría salían juntas y asistían a actos sociales. ¿Sabes si María tenía pareja?
Partner, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, we never really discussed her love life in detail. But I don't think she was in a serious relationship at the time. Why, is there a reason you're asking about her partner?
Puede ser. Es sospechoso.
Suspicious. What do you mean? Are you suggesting that someone close to her might be involved in her murder? That's absolutely shocking. I can't imagine anyone wanting to harm sweet, innocent Maria. But if you have any leads or suspicions, please do share. We need to find out the truth and bring justice to her.
Sí, bueno, poco te voy a compartir a ti. Eres sospechosa todo. Todos sois sospechosos. A ver, eran amigas, estaba con la Michelle y fue en su apartamento. Vale, ¿dónde está su apartamento? No sé dónde está su apartamento. ¿Dónde está el apartamento de María?
Maria's apartment.
Sí.
I'm not exactly sure. I never visited her there, so I don't have the address. But why do you ask about her apartment? Is there something important there that could help with the investigation?
Sí.
Wait, are you suggesting that there might be something important at Maria's apartment? I didn't even know where she lived. But if it could help with the investigation, I think we should find out. Do you have any leads on her address?
No. Voy a decir que no.
Well, that's unfortunate. It would have been helpful to have her address. But I'm sure the police are already looking into it. They must be thorough in their investigations, right? I just hope they find some answers soon. We can't let this go
Eso es
unsolved.
cierto. Eso es cierto. De hecho, voy a ir a la estación de policía y voy a decir... ¿dónde es el apartamento de María?
Maria's apartment is located in the central area
Vale.
of Vaudeville. Why do you ask?
Zona céntrica, Vaudeville. Ah, no me cabe. Zona céntrica. Bueno, con esto ya me enteré. Vale, zona céntrica de Vaudeville. O sea, que podría ser en cualquier sitio. Vale, con esto puedo mirar alrededor. Muy bien. ¿Y con esto qué pretende que mire? ¿Sus manos, por ejemplo? ¿Su expresión? ¿Espera que encuentre algo? Bueno. Su nombre y profesión. Por favor.
I am Monsieur Suck-Sabar, the renowned lion tamer and director of Circus Suck-Sabar.
Axabarro. Él es el director del... ¿Qué puede contarme sobre los asesinatos ocurridos? ocurridos en Vaudeville.
Ah, the murders in Vaudeville. A tragic affair indeed. But fear not, my dear detective, for the great and enigmatic world of the circus has no room for such darkness. Let us focus on the wonders and marvels that await us under the big top, shall we?
¿Tiene animales este circo?
Of course, we have animals. Magnificent creatures they are, adding an element of danger and excitement to our grand spectacle. Lions, tigers, and more, all awaiting their moment to astound the audience with their majestic prowess.
¿Se le ha escapado algún animal estos días?
No, none of my magnificent beasts has escaped.
¿Estás seguro?
Absolutely sure.
¿Por qué me dice de mirar alrededor si no puedo andar? Claro, yo intento ver si puedo moverme, pero no puedo moverme. Quizá puedo hacerlo para el resto de cámaras. Estuvo en las noches de los asesinatos.
None of your concern.
No es asunto suyo, es... su coartada. No me toque los cojones. Eso está por ver. Muy bien. Detenido. Bueno. Poco me van a dar. Vamos a ir a Pascal, donde asesinaron a... Donde asesinaron a Nicola. ¿Quién tiene con Nicola?
Oh, Nicola, such a tragic loss. We were quite close, you know. He was such a charming and intriguing man. We shared many delightful conversations over tea. It's a shame that you won't be able to join us for the upcoming bridge tournament. Such a shame indeed. But life goes on, doesn't it?
¿Eran amantes? Voy a ir con esa directamente.
Lovers. Oh, my dear, that's a rather scandalous assumption, isn't it?
Sí, sí.
I assure you, our relationship was purely platonic.
Me lo creo poco, pero bueno.
I must admit, there was an undeniable spark between us. But alas, it was never meant to be. Fate can be so cruel sometimes. Don't you agree?
En teoría. ¿En dónde estuvo el... ¿Dónde estuvo? Noche del asesinato de... De hecho, debería empezar a preguntar por las horas en la morgue.
Ah, the night of Nicola's murder. How dreadful. It's a pity I can't remember exactly what I was doing that evening. You see, my days tend to blur together with social engagements, tea parties, and the like. But I'm sure the police will figure it out soon enough. They're quite good at their job, aren't they?
Está reconociendo que no tiene coartada.
Oh, my dear, I'm afraid you've misunderstood me. I simply meant that I can't recall the specifics of that particular evening. But rest assured, I have nothing to hide. I'm sure the authorities will uncover the truth in due time. In the meantime, let's focus on something more pleasant, shall we? Perhaps you can tell me about your favorite travel destination or a delightful recipe you've come across recently.
Vamos, aquí puedes hablar con la I y le puedes decir cualquier cosa, pero es que yo me voy a centrar en obviamente lo que toca. De su destino de viaje favorito. ¿Dónde le gustaba ir el señor Nicola.
Nicola, bless his soul, had quite an adventurous spirit. He was always seeking new experiences and exploring exotic locales. I remember him mentioning his fondness for the bustling streets of Marrakech and the serene beaches of Bali. He had a taste for the finer things in life, just like me. It's a shame he won't be able to indulge in those travels anymore. Life can be so unpredictable, can't it?
No sé si es importante. Pero hoy voy a ponerlo. Los viajes los hacía solo.
Travel alone. My dear, I must confess that I rarely travel alone. I much prefer the company of charming individuals who can regale me with fascinating
Me refería
stories
a
or whisk
esto.
me away to hidden gems around the world. Traveling alone can be rather dull, don't you think? It's much more
Señor.
enjoyable to have someone to share the adventures with, someone who can add a touch of excitement to every moment.
Silence. Señora.
Yes, my dear, it seems that poor Nicola was indeed traveling alone. How terribly unfortunate for him. But you know, sometimes it's in those moments of solitude that one can truly find oneself. Perhaps he was seeking a sense of adventure or a chance to reflect on life's mysteries. Who knows what secrets he carried within him? It's a shame we'll never truly know. Life can be so mysterious, can't it?
Vale, voy a ir a la morgue. ¿Cuál es la hora de la muerte de las víctimas?
Well, Detective Martini, the time of death for the victims in question is as follows. Maria Jansen, the young woman found outside her apartment, was killed sometime during the night of April 22nd. Her injuries suggest a brutal attack, possibly by an animal. Nicola Grossman, the finance man found near Pascale's groceries, met his demise between 9 p.m. and 12 a.m. on April 23rd. He suffered a fatal stab wound to the back of his neck with a butcher's knife.
Vale. Nicola. Nicola. Espérate, ¿eh? Tienda Pascal. Entre las 21 y 24 horas. 23 de abril. Esto tendría que haberlo pedido antes. Puñalada mortal, nuca, cuchillo, carnicero. Esto fue en su... Fuera su apartamento. Me falta la hora de la muerte de Hailey. La muerte de Hailey.
Based on my examination, the time of death for Haley Greenwood was sometime during the night of April 22nd. Her cause of death was multiple blunt force trauma to the head, likely inflicted with a stiletto shoe, as evidenced by the fragments found on her body. It's a brutal and tragic case, Detective. The violence inflicted upon her is disturbing.
Craneoencefálico múltiple por tapado. Bueno, y en la zona S, fuera de su zona de trabajo. Vale. A ver, las marcas pueden ser de león o tigre.
Well, it's highly unlikely that the animal markings on Maria Jansen's body were caused by a lion or tiger. The bite marks and the fractured forearm bone suggest a significant amount of strength, but not quite on the level of those big cats. It's more probable that the marks were made by a smaller, yet still powerful, predator, perhaps a large dog or a wild animal native to this region. The exact species would require further investigation, but it's clear that Maria was attacked by something quite ferocious.
Ser de la salvaje de la zona o perro grande. Vale. Pues vamos a ir a la policía. ¿Qué animales salvajes hay por Vaudeville?
Wild animals in Vaudeville. Well, I can't say I've seen any roaming the streets here. We're a city, after all, not as... But if you're interested in wildlife, we do have a lovely park with some squirrels and birds. Is there a particular reason you're asking about wild animals, Detective Martini?
Uno. Perro grande o animal salvaje de la zona.
A large dog, or a wild animal, you say? That's quite unusual for a peaceful little town. Are you suggesting that there might be some sort of dangerous creature lurking around?
Pues sí.
I find it a large dog, or a wild animal, you say? That's certainly an interesting observation, Detective Martini. But I must admit, we don't typically have reports of such creatures causing harm in Vaudeville. It's possible that Maria's injuries were caused by something else entirely. However, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to look into it further. Do you have any leads or specific information regarding this potential animal presence in the area?
No. Aún no.
Well, if we don't have much to go on at the moment, it might be worth exploring this angle. I'll make sure to inform the officers to keep an eye out for any unusual behavior or sightings of animals in the vicinity. We can't rule anything out at this point. Let's hope we can gather more clues soon. Any other thoughts or updates on the case, Detective?
No. Pero ahora que sé dónde estamos, le voy a decir exactamente a la Miss Potter dónde coño estuvo entre las... Va a ser específica. ¿Dónde estaba el 23 de abril? Entre las 21 horas y las 24.
Oh, April 23rd. Such a dreadful day. I was at home, all alone, with nobody to keep me company. How terribly dull. But I must say, Detective, if you're looking for excitement, you will find it with me. I'm just a simple housewife, after all.
O sea, estaba literalmente sola en casa, no tiene coartada, sola en casa, o sea, no tiene coartada. Eso es sospecho. Vale, no. A ver, no tiene coartada. O sea, está reconociendo que no tiene coartada. Diciendo que no tiene coartada. Para la franja del asesinato.
Oh, my dear, it seems that I am at a loss for an alibi. Such a shame, isn't it? But fret not, for I assure you, I had nothing to do with those ghastly murders. Why, I wouldn't even know how to hold a candlestick properly, let alone commit a crime. Now, let us steer our conversation towards more pleasant topics, shall we? Perhaps we can discuss the latest fashion trends or the wonderful mushroom picking season that is upon us.
Temporada recogida de setas. ¿Sabe de...? Ya que he hablado de las setas, de animales salvajes cerca de Vaudeville.
Wild animals near Vaudeville. My, what an intriguing question. But I'm afraid I have no knowledge of such creatures. You see, my world revolves around the refined elegance of Vaudeville and its charming inhabitants. The thought of wild animals roaming about is simply too uncivilized for my taste.
Qué
Let's
asco me
focus
está dando
on
esta
more
tía.
civilized matters, shan't we?
No. La verdad es que no me apetece. Era Cabernet Violete. Va un poco lagado esto, soy yo. Sí, se ha lagado. ¿Es esta mujer solo? Sí. Es solo esta mujer, o sea... Ok, Michelle. Vale, pues... Noche del 22 de abril.
What do you want to know about the night of April 22nd? What does it have to do with Maria's murder?
Saber dónde se encontraba usted el día, la noche del 22 de abril.
Oh, the night of April 22nd. That was a few weeks ago. Is there something specific that happened on that night?
Muerte de María, ¿no? Es la muerte de María, ¿no? Sí.
Maria's death. What do you
Sí.
want to know about that?
¿Dónde se encontraba la noche del asesinato de María?
Oh, the night of Maria's murder. Well, I was actually at a charity gala that evening. It was a big
Vale.
event for a local children's hospital. I remember it being quite a glamorous affair, but I must admit I don't really recall the exact location of the murder. Do you have any leads on that?
¿Qué día fue la gala benéfica en el Palace?
The Vaudeville Palace Hotel. I'm not sure if there was a gala benefit there recently. I mostly attend events at the country club or other high-profile venues in Vaudeville. Are you sure about the hotel?
No me ayuda mucho esto. Ay. A ver. Dice que estaba la gala benéfica en la noche del asesinato. Pero dice que no de esto. ¿Tiene usted animales?
Animals. Well, I don't personally have any pets at the moment, but I must say I adore animals. They bring such joy and companionship.
Vale.
Are you an animal lover too?
Sí. Me gustan los perros. Me gustan los perros.
Dogs. How lovely. Dogs are truly wonderful creatures, aren't they? Do you have a favorite breed?
Sí, bueno, tengo los huskies. Me encantan los huskies.
Huskies, you say? That's fascinating. They are such majestic and beautiful dogs, aren't they?
Súper estúpidos.
What is it about huskies that you find particularly appealing?
Que son bobos. Que son muy bobos. Vale, cambiando de tema. ¿María tenía animales? ¿Tenía mascotas?
Pets? I don't recall ever seeing Maria with any pets. But then again, we didn't really discuss our pets much. Did you know if she had any furry friends?
Escucho furry friends y no pienso en animales peludos de mascotas, sino otro tipo de furros. O sea, a ver. Vale, pues nada. Vamos a ir a otro sitio que no hayamos tocado. El coral. Vale, este al menos no va lagueado. Ingrid. Dime su nombre y profesión. Por favor.
Oh, hello there. My name is Ingrid, and I'm a ballerina in training. I've recently moved to Vaudeville to pursue my dreams on the stage. Dancing brings me so much joy and fulfillment. It's such a pleasure to meet you. What's your name?
No sé cuál es mi nombre. Soy el detective que... Soy detective Martini. Ah, mira, como la bebida, perfecto. Soy el detective Martini. Investigo la muerte. Voy a empezar por muerte de Hailey.
Detective Martini. How delightful to make your acquaintance. It's so exciting to have a detective in our little town, especially investigating Haley's tragic death. You must be very good at what you do. Is there anything I can do to help you with your investigation? Perhaps my perspective as a friend of Haley's could be of some assistance.
¿Qué relación tenían Hailey? Hailey y usted.
Haley and I were good friends, Detective Martini. We both shared a love for dancing, and we would often practice together. She was such a talented and vibrant person. We would spend hours talking about dance, sharing our goals and aspirations. It's heartbreaking to think that she's no longer with us. I miss her dearly. If there's anything you need to know about her or any particular aspect of her life, please don't hesitate to ask. I want to do everything I can to assist you in finding the truth behind her murder.
¿Por qué va descalza?
Oh, the barefoot question. Well, you see, I absolutely love the feeling of freedom that comes with being barefoot. It allows me to connect with the ground and express myself more authentically through my movements. Plus, it just feels so natural and liberating. Dancing barefoot is quite common in the world of contemporary and modern ballet, where I find myself most at home. It's all about embracing the raw beauty and passion within. So, whenever I can, I choose to let my feet breathe and feel the stage beneath them.
Me hace un poco raro, pero podría tener hasta sentido. Vale. ¿Dónde se encontraba usted la noche del 22 de abril?
Detective Martini, you're asking me about the night of April 22nd.
Sí, se lo
Let me think
pregunto.
for a moment. That was the night Haley. Well, you know. Anyway, I remember that night vividly. I was actually at Coral, the bar downtown. It's this fantastic place decorated like an underwater wonderland. Musicians and dancers from all over the world gather there to showcase their talents before moving on to bigger stages. I was there, lost in the music, expressing my emotions through dance.
¿Alguien puede confirmar su coartada?
Well, you see, dear Detective Martini, I'm afraid I don't have anyone who could confirm my alibi for that particular evening. I was immersed in the energy of the crowd and the rhythm of the music. But I assure you, I'm just a harmless ballerina chasing her dreams. You mustn't suspect me. Instead, let's focus on finding the real culprit behind these terrible murders. Together, we will unravel the truth and bring justice to our beloved Vaudeville.
¿Tenía Hailey algún enemigo?
Enemies, Haley, absolutely not.
Nadie, nunca. Todo el mundo, siempre cuando se muere. No tenía enemigos, era una persona muy
I can't imagine her
buena.
having any enemies. Everyone loved her. She was always there to support and encourage others, both on and off the stage. Haley had a way of bringing people together, creating a sense of unity and camaraderie. It's truly devastating to think that someone would want to harm her. We need to find out who could have done such a thing and make sure they face the consequences. Justice for Haley.
Cuando bailan con zapatos de tacón.
High heels. Oh, Detective Martini, you've caught me smiling. No, I don't dance in high heels. As a ballerina, I prefer the grace and precision of dancing in my bare feet. It allows me to feel every movement, every nuance, and connect deeply with the music and the floor beneath me. Dancing in high heels requires a different level of skill and technique, more suited for other styles like jazz or contemporary dance. But for me, it's all about the elegance and fluidity of ballet. Oh, yes, that's right, Detective. I remember now. Sometimes, when we were feeling playful and adventurous, we would experiment with different styles of dance. And on a few occasions, I remember seeing dear, sweet, talented, and daring Haley donning a pair of fabulous, sparkling, sky-high stilettos for some of her performances. She had this incredible ability to move with such confidence and poise in those
Podrían
heels.
haberlo matado con
It was
sus
truly
propios
mesmerizing
tacones.
to watch her. She had a way of captivating the audience with her charm and versatility.
Podrían haber sido los tacones de Hailey, el arma. Podrían haber sido... tacones... posiblemente de la víctima. Vale. Me gustaría... Vale, no, aquí no. Me gustaría ir aquí. Va muy mal esto. F1 control más N, center mouse. Buah. A ver si puedo escribir lo que... Buah, esta va a ser dura, ¿eh? Nombre y profesión.
Detective Martini, have you ever seen my burlesque performance? People come from every corner of Europe to see it.
Voy a poner qué relación tiene con la víctima. No sé si...
Oh. The victim.
Sí.
You mean Haley Greenwood, right? Well, I didn't really have a personal relationship with her. We were both dancers at the Cabane Violet, but we didn't interact much outside of work. Why do you ask, detective?
Necesito ver tus pies. Vale, quiero esos tacones. Podría darme tus... ¿Qué es esto de aquí? ¿Qué es esto de aquí en el suelo? Sangre del suelo. A ver qué me cuentas. Ah, no va a decir nada. Pues me la voy a jugar con el asesinato de Haley. Puedo acosar a...
So, tell us, Detective Martini, who is the culprit?
De Haley Greenwood. Me la juego ya directamente. Le intento dar caña ya. ¿Quién es? La asesina de Haley. La asesina de Haley
Have you made
es
up your
esta.
mind, Detective
Es
Martini?
Marina.
Your choice, Detective Martini. May I ask you why?
Para la herencia, por una obsesión. Buah, espérate. Espera. Voy a intentar sacarle más información a la tía. Pero le falta un tacón, que por eso está el espejo. Le falta un tacón. O sea... ¿Qué relación tenía con... Voy a ir más profunda porque no sabía que era su compañera de trabajo.
Haley. She was such a talented dancer. We worked together at the Cabane Violet. We were all like a big family, you know?
Está lleno de sangre
But why do you
todo el
ask
tacón.
about my relationship with her?
¿Eran
Is there
amigas?
something specific you want to know?
¿Eran amigas?
Friends. Well, I suppose you could say we were friends. We spent a lot of time together at rehearsals and performances. We supported each other and had a good time. But why the sudden interest in our friendship? Do you think it's relevant to the investigation?
Sí, quiero saber su relación, por favor, no es tan raro. Vale, ¿dónde estaba? Yo creo que yo creo que tiene algo que ver con el trabajo. ¿Dónde se encontraba la noche del 22 de abril?
On the night of April 22nd.
Sí.
Let me think.
Venga,
That was a few
piensa.
weeks ago, right?
Sí, no te
I
acuerdas.
believe I was performing at the Bumblebee that night. It was a fabulous show, as always. The audience loved it. Why do you ask about that particular night? Did something
¿Sabes?
happen?
Rey tuvo enemigos. Bueno, estuvo o no tenía. Tenía
Enemies. Haley. Oh, I can't imagine anyone having a reason to be an enemy of hers. She was so sweet and kind to everyone. She had a lot of admirers, both on and off the stage. But enemies? I really don't think so. Is there a reason you're asking about this?
¿Quién era? ¿Quién es la estrella del cabane? La estrella del cabane. Violete.
The star of the cup on Violet.
Sí.
That would be me, of course.
Obvio.
Have you ever seen my burlesque performance? People come from every corner of Europe to see it. It's quite the spectacle, if I do say so myself. But enough about me, let's get back to the investigation.
¿Qué bailes hace?
I see you're curious about my burlesque performance.
No.
How delightful. I have quite a repertoire of dances, my dear. From classic fan dances to playful chair routines, I love to tease and entertain the audience with my sensual movements and glamorous costumes.
¿Cuáles eran los números de Hailey? No quiero saber tus números.
Haley had
pues
a few
no.
different numbers that she performed at the Club on Violet.
Que vaya
She was
tan
quite
mal, me está
versatile and
mareando,
could
tío.
captivate the audience with her talent. She had a sultry fan dance routine, a playful kinkanumber, and a mesmerizing aerial silk performance.
Pensaba que faltaba un tacón,
Each
pero
one
era la
showcased her
imagen.
unique style and grace. Why do you ask about her numbers? Are you a fan of her work?
Me gusta mucho el trabajo de Hailey.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. It's always great to meet someone who appreciates the artistry and hard work that goes into our performances. What specifically do you like about Haley's work? Is there a particular routine or aspect that stands out to you?
Su baile y sus números eran los mejores del cabane. Ya verás tú.
Thank you so much for saying that. I'm thrilled to know that you think highly of her dancing and numbers. It's true, she was incredibly talented. But I'm curious, what made her routine stand out to you? Was it her grace, her energy, or something else that caught your attention? I'd love to know more about what you enjoyed about her performances.
Todo. Todo era perfecto. Todo era perfecto, fin.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you thought everything was perfect. It's always a delight to hear such positive feedback. As performers, we strive to create a memorable experience for our audience. So, I'm genuinely interested to hear what specifically stood out to you. What made her dances so perfect in your eyes?
¿Usted mató a Hailey? Voy a ir directa al grano.
Kill. Me? Goodness, no. I would never do something like that. I'm just a dancer, not a killer.
Claro.
Why would you even suggest something like that?
Hay sangre
Is there a
en...
reason you're asking? Are you suspecting me?
¿Por qué hay sangre en el suelo? A ver.
Blood on the floor. I'm sorry, I don't see any blood here in the dressing room. Are you sure you're in the right place? Maybe
Compañera.
it's something else you're seeing. Can you describe it to me? I'm quite curious now.
Y enfrente de sus pies. ¿Qué son las manchas rojas delante de usted?
Red spots. Oh, those. Those are just some spilled red wine from a glass that got knocked over earlier. It happens sometimes in the hustle and bustle of getting ready for a performance.
En todos lados, en
Nothing
diferentes
to worry
sitios.
about, really.
Esto no es vino.
Is there something specific you wanted to ask about them?
Es que si pudiese coger muestra, pero aquí no puedo coger muestra. Ni puedo hacer nada. Para salirme porque, joder, que me está doliendo la puta cabeza ya. Voy a preguntar aquí sobre animales salvajes. ¿Sabe de animales salvajes por la zona?
Wild animals in the Blackwoods forest, you say?
Sí.
Oh, they are quite the fascinating creatures, my dear friend. They
Da
roam
muy
these
mal
woods
rollo.
with grace and mystery, their presence a symphony of nature's harmony. There are deer, with their gentle eyes and nimble steps,
Ciervos
gracefully
no.
leaping through the trees. And oh, the foxes, with their sly
¿Podría
ways
ser
and cunning
zorro?
tricks, weaving through the underbrush like whispers in the wind. And let us not forget the wise old owl, perched high upon a branch, its hoots echoing through the night.
¿Ha visto a María por la zona últimamente?
Maria, you ask. Yeah, Maria, a name that dances on the edges of my memory like a fleeting dream. But alas, my mind is a labyrinth of scattered thoughts and forgotten tales. I cannot recall if Maria has graced the sanctuary of the Blackwoods with her presence. You see, my friend, time is but a fickle companion, slipping away like sand between my weathered fingers. But fear not, for if Maria has crossed paths with these ancient woods, surely the whispering leaves and murmuring streams hold the secrets of her journey. Oh, the night of April 22nd, you say, a night shrouded in darkness and mystery, where the moonlight weaves its silver threads through the forest's tapestry. But my dear friend, my eyes, weary from the weight of years, do not possess the gift of seeing through the veil of night. I am but a humble guardian of these sacred grounds, attuned to the whispers of the trees and the rustling of the creatures that call this place home. If there were wanderers beneath the moon's gentle gaze that night, their footsteps eluded my senses.
El modo que agacha la cabeza es que me pone muy tensa. Vale. Vale, y usted debe ser el... Sí, usted es el mayordomo de por hecho del señor... Ay, del señor esto. De Nicola, ¿no? ¿O no?
The victim, you say?
A ver si
Well,
me
I
dices
must
directamente.
confess, my dear Detective Martini, that I do not possess any knowledge about the victims. You see, my focus tends to be more on the finer things in life, like my collection here. But do tell me, who were these unfortunate souls? Were they known to you personally?
Conocía a Nicola Grossman.
Oh, Nicola Grossman, you say? I'm afraid I don't recall ever crossing paths with such a name. But please, do enlighten me, who was this Nicola Grossman? And might I ask, what connection does he have to these recent events in Vaudeville?
de las víctimas.
Oh, my apologies, Detective Martini. I seem to have misunderstood. So, this Mr. Grossman was one of the unfortunate victims.
Sí.
How
Sí.
intriguing. Pray tell, what can you share about him?
No voy
What
a
was his
decir nada.
occupation? Did he have any notable connections or interests? I'm quite curious to learn more about this individual.
¿Para qué te voy a decir yo
Maria
algo?
Jansen, you say. Now that's a name I'm not familiar with, my dear detective. But she must have been someone of
Ah,
significance to be mentioned in relation to these incidents. Tell me, who was Maria Jansen? Was she an artist, a socialite, or perhaps a member of the nobility? I'm Haley Greenwood, you say? Now that's a name I haven't heard before. Tell
no
me,
conoce a
Detective
nadie.
Martini, who is Haley Greenwood?
No conoce a nadie. O sea, no conoce a nadie. Podrían ser de un zorro.
Well, detective, it's an interesting thought. However, based on the nature of the injuries in my examination of Maria's body, I highly doubt that the markings were caused by a fox. The wounds appear to be much deeper and more severe than what a fox would typically inflict. It seems more likely that she was attacked by a larger and more aggressive animal, or perhaps even a person using something with sharp claws or teeth. I'll need to analyze the tissue samples further to get a clear picture. But rest assured, I'll do my best to find out what really happened to Maria.
Vale, voy a ir a la estación. ¿Dónde hay usted? Vale, necesito el nombre de la pava esta. Marina H. Ok, Marina H. Necesito los tacones de Marina H para investigar.
Well, you see, Detective Martini, borrowing someone's personal belongings without their permission is like, taking a walk on thin ice. It's not the right thing to do, you know? We should always respect people's boundaries and property. Maybe there's another way we can gather information for your research.
Hay manchas sospechosas en el cabane. El cabane. Hay manchas sospechosas.
The Kaban, you say. Suspicious stains, you say. Well, I can't say I'm surprised. That place has always been a den of debauchery and immorality. But stains, you say. What kind of stains are we talking about here? Blood or something else? Well, what do you want? Spit it out. Suspicious stains at the Kaban, you say.
Sí.
Blood-like stains, you say. That does sound quite concerning. Have you already taken a closer look at them?
Sí. 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 No, a ver. No hay tanto control. O sea, no hay tantos controles aquí. Anda. Joder, mierda, he cerrado el juego, tío. Dame un segundo a ver si lo puedo recuperar porque no sé si ahí. Si está guardado o se inicia desde el inicio. O es desde cero.
The second I stepped off.
Pues desde cero. Va a ser desde cero, ¿verdad? Ah, pues no. No es desde cero, no. Por suerte. Que por cierto, quería ver más o menos. Voy a acusar. Pero si tengo todo, ¿no?
Have you ever felt that way before? Like you have everything you need, yet something still feels missing. It's a strange feeling, isn't it?
Hay manchas de sangre, tío. Me puto jodas. Bueno, al menos contigo ya puedo hablar. Ya no vas tolagada. ¿Me daría sus tacones?
Oh, my dear Detective Martini, why would you want my heels? Are you planning on doing a little burlesque dance of your own?
Sí.
Oh, you want my heels? Well, they're not just any ordinary heels, you know. These are my special burlesque performance shoes. They've seen quite a few stages and danced to many tunes. Why do you want them? Are you planning on joining me on stage?
Sí.
Well, you want to join me on stage. That's exciting. But tell me, why the sudden interest in becoming a performer? Is there a particular reason or passion that's driving you towards the spotlight? I'm curious to hear your story.
Obviamente. ¿Quieres saber mi historia? Y en la police station, pues me van a hacer cero caso. Hay manchas de sangre en el cabane.
Well, I don't know. I might have a theory. You see, blood stains in a cabane. That's like finding a needle in a haystack, isn't it? It's like searching for a black cat in a...
En el cabane violet, tío. ¿Eres tonto? ¿Tú eres tonto? Sangre en el cabane violete.
Oh, well, you see. Blood at cabane violet, you say.
Sí.
That's quite concerning, isn't it? I mean, they say blood is thicker than water, but in this case, it's just, well, blood. And it's not supposed to be at a cozy place like cabane violet. It's like a needle in a haystack, trying to find out what happened. But, I don't know much about these things, you know? I'm just here to lend a hand, if I can.
Necesitamos quitar los tacones de... ¿Cómo se llamaba la pava esta? Marina H, ¿no? De Marina H. ¡Hala! Ya ha empezado el lag. Ligarlos. Necesitamos analizar los tacones de Marina H.
Marina H's heels. What's there to analyze about them? They're just shoes, aren't they?
Son el arma de los tacones.
She was killed with a pair of...
Sí. María la mataron con los tacones.
Wait a minute, you're saying that Maria was actually murdered with a pair of heels? Goodness gracious, that's quite a unique weapon choice. I've seen my fair share of crimes, but this takes the cake. Do we have any leads on who might have done this? Yeah, I see. You suspect that the killer used a pair of heels belonging to Marina H to commit the crime. Interesting theory, Detective Martini. But do we have any evidence linking the murder weapon to her specifically? And how did you come to this suspicion in the first place?
Hay sangre en el cabane violet.
Blood at cabane violet, you say. That's quite a significant lead, Detective. Tell me more about it. What makes you believe that the blood is connected to the case and possibly linked to Marina H's involvement?
Cerca del cabane. María y Marina H son compañeras. Ser cuestión de celos.
Jealousy, you think? So you suspect that there might have been some kind of rivalry or conflict between Maria and Marina? And you believe that this jealousy could have led to the murder?
Sí.
Well, it's certainly a possibility worth exploring. We'll need to gather more information about their relationship and dig deeper into their interactions. Do we have any witnesses or other evidence that can support this theory?
No, pero ahora lo vamos a ver. No, tú no. ¿Dónde está la otra? En Coral. ¿Qué relación tenían María y Marina?
Oh, Maria and Marina. They were such great friends. They were both incredibly talented dancers, and they supported and encouraged each other every step of the way. They used to spend hours together practicing their routines and sharing their dreams of making it big in vaudeville.
Ah, que ahora son
It was
amigas.
beautiful to see their friendship blossom on and off the stage. They would often perform together, their movements perfectly synchronized, like they were connected by some kind of magical bond. It breaks my heart to think that they're no longer with us. They had so much potential, so much talent. It's just devastating.
¿Qué opinas de Marina H?
Oh, Detective Martini. Well, I don't know her personally, but I've heard she's quite the detective. I think it's amazing how she's trying to solve these murders and bring justice to our community.
No.
It takes a lot of courage and determination to do what she does.
¿Qué opinas?
I admire her for that. And hey, Marina, oh, she's amazing. She's not only a phenomenal dancer, but she's also such a warm and caring person. She has this incredible energy that lights up the room whenever she enters. I remember when I first met her, she welcomed me with open arms and made me feel like I belonged here in vaudeville. We've had some fantastic conversations about our dreams and aspirations. She's so passionate about her craft and always pushes herself to be the best she can be. I'll always admire her dedication and drive. Oh, rivalry? No, not at all. Maria and Marina were actually very supportive of each other.
Espérate, que ahora no lo van a
Respect
hacer.
for one another's talent and would often collaborate on dance routines. They would cheer each other on during performances and celebrate each other's successes.
Ahora quitar el ray
True that they
tracing.
both had their own unique styles and strengths, but they saw that as an opportunity to learn from each other and grow together. Their friendship and camaraderie were truly inspiring. They were like two shining stars, lighting up the stage together.
Ahora quitar el ray tracing. Sí, porque así me va mejor. O sea que en teoría tú no eres mala. Ay. Uf, qué turbio. Espérate, ¿te llamas Coronel Echevarría? ¿What? Vale, ok. ¿Qué tacones? A ver. Necesito más detalles de los tacones usados para matar a María.
Well, detective, the heels used to kill Maria were quite distinctive. They had a pointed stiletto design, which caused significant damage to her skull. The fragments found on her body indicate that they were made of a hard material, possibly metal or a durable synthetic material. The force of the blows was enough to cause multiple fractures and severe trauma to her head. It's quite disheartening to see such brutality inflicted upon a young woman like Maria. It's moments like these that make me ponder the
Vale, dame un segundo. ¡Ah! Gracias. Háblame de tus tacones. ¿De qué material están hechos?
Oh, my heels. They are absolutely fabulous, darling. They're made of a shiny black patent leather material. They're sleek and sexy, just like me. I love how they make me
Charcol
feel
negro
powerful and confident
brillante.
on stage. Is there something specific you'd like to know about them?
El material.
Detective Martini, why are you so interested in my shoes? Are you developing a sudden fascination with footwear? Or perhaps you have a secret passion for fashion? Tell me, do you have a favorite pair of shoes yourself? Oh, you're interested in my heels. How delightful. Well, as I mentioned earlier, they are made of a stunning black patent leather. It gives them that beautiful shine and adds a touch of elegance to my performances.
¿Pero de qué
Is there something in particular you find intriguing about them?
Necesito saber. Muy puntiagudos tus tacones.
Too pointy. Why, whatever do you mean? My heels have a classic stiletto shape, which is known for its slender and elongated design.
Son
Helps accentuate
son
the curves of my legs
estiletes.
and add a
Hay
certain allure to my
sangre.
performance. Some might say they're sharp, but that's part of their charm. Why the sudden interest in the pointiness of my heels?
¿Qué material son tus tacones?
Didn't I already mention that, darling? My fabulous heels are made of a shiny black
Charcol
patent
negro.
leather.
Charcol negro. Podría ser charcol negro suficientemente duro. Ser María.
Well, detective, black charcoal is not typically known for its hardness. It's actually quite brittle and crumbly. However, in certain circumstances, if the charcoal is compressed or mixed with other substances, it is possible for it to become more solid and potentially capable of causing harm. But in the case of Maria's brutal attack, it seems unlikely that black charcoal alone would be the weapon used. Well, it's certainly possible that black charcoal or black patent leather heels could have caused the injuries to Maria Jansen. However, based on my analysis of the wounds, it appears that the attacker used a sharp object with a significant
Sí,
amount of
con
force to inflict
estilete.
such damage. The depth and precision of the wound suggest a weapon with a harder and sharper edge, like a knife or a similar tool.
¿Cómo que como un cuchillo? ¿Ahora me has cambiado? Ah, no, claro, es relación... Espérate. Es con Hailey, tío. Soy subnormal.
Oh, Maria and Haley were such good friends.
Ah,
They
también
met
son
here
muy
in
amigas.
Vaudeville and instantly clicked. They were both dancers, you know, and they would often practice together and support each other in their performances. Haley always talked about how talented Maria was
No,
and how much he
no,
admired her
María
grace
no,
and
Marina.
elegance. They would often go out for coffee
Me
or have
confundió.
lunch together after rehearsals.
La
It's really sad to
relación
think that they're both
entre...
gone now. But I know Haley would want us to find out the truth and bring justice. Oh, Maria and Haley were the best of friends. They met here in
Marina.
Vaudeville when they both started working at Coral. They bonded over their love for dancing and became inseparable. They would always support each other. Oh, Detective Martini, they were the best of friends.
Se llama Marina H.
Oh, Haley. She was such a vibrant and talented dancer. We danced together many times, and I must say we had quite the chemistry on stage. But off stage, well, we didn't really spend much time together. Why do you ask, Detective Martini?
Es que necesito saber la relación, pero no me lo quiere decir, es subnormal. ¿Conoce a Marina H?
Oh, Marina H. Yes, I know her. She's one of the dancers at Coral, just like me.
Vale.
Marina is such a talented and graceful performer. We've become good friends since I moved here. She's always there to support me and cheer me on during rehearsals. We have so much fun together, talking about our dreams and aspirations. Marina is such an inspiration to me, and I'm grateful to have her in my life. I hope she can achieve all her dreams too. Oh, Haley and Marina were really close. They were like sisters, you know? They shared a deep bond, both on and off the stage. They would spend hours practicing their routines, supporting each other through the challenges. And outside of work, they would go out for coffee, explore Vaudeville's art scene, and have these long conversations about their hopes and fears. It was beautiful to see how they lifted each other up. Haley's death hit Marina really hard. She's been devastated ever since. Really, that's surprising to hear. I thought they were so close. It's interesting how different people perceive relationships, isn't it? I guess everyone has their own perspective. But still, I can't help but feel that there must have been some kind of connection between them. Maybe it wasn't as strong as I thought, but I'm sure they at least knew each other from working together. It's so sad to think about what happened to Haley. I hope we can find out the truth soon and bring justice to her and the other
Yo
victims.
sospecho de Marina H.
So, tell us, Detective Martini, who is the culprit?
Yo sospecho de que es esta
Are you sure,
Marina
Detective
H.
Martini? And why?
¿Qué coño es por Hialeah para la venganza? Eran rivales. Hialeah, ¿qué coño es Hialeah? Supongo que seré muy gateta. Hialeah. No. Hialeah, ¿qué coño es Hialeah? Es que encima tiene el acento, por lo tanto. No sé qué coño es Hialeah. Le voy a dar. No, a María Jansson no sé quién la mató. Voy a voleo. A ver, María Jansson. Por un animal. No va cascada, me da
Interesting
mucho
choice,
miedo.
Detective Martini. May I ask you why?
Ritual. Y Nicola, buah, lo de Nicola creo que es lo que más de esto. Con el cuchillo carnicero, yo tiraría por Pascal.
Are you sure, Detective
Y
Martini?
rivales en los
And why?
negocios y me voy para adelante.
Detective Martini, this is complete nonsense.
Ala, muy bien. Me ha gustado, no he acertado ninguna, creo. This is complete nonsense. A ver. No sé quién es usted, es que esto me da muy mal rollo. Y no hay nadie más. Voy a ir aquí, porque aquí sí que creo que puedo hablar con alguien. Puedo hablar con Pascal. ¿Cuál es su relación con Nicola?
Oh, Nicola. Well, he was a regular customer here. Always came in for his vegetables, you know. But I heard something interesting about him recently. Want to hear the latest gossip?
Claro.
Well,
Cuéntame.
you won't believe what I've been hearing. Word on the street is that Nicola had quite the secret love affair going on. Can you imagine? Scandalous, I tell you. But you didn't hear it from me, alright? Keep it hush-hush.
¿Sabe con quién tenía dicha relación amorosa?
Oh, absolutely. Rumor has it that it was none other than Count Gravison himself. Can you believe
El
it?
conde
Forbidden
Gravesen.
romance between a commoner and a noble. It's like something out of a romantic novel. But, you know, these things are just rumors. Who knows what the truth really is?
Ah, Nicola, such a fascinating individual. We had a rather interesting relationship, I must say. Nicola was an avid traveler and collector, much like myself. We would often cross paths at various auctions and exhibitions, and our shared passion for collecting rare items brought us together. We would spend hours discussing our latest acquisitions and sharing stories of our adventures. It was quite a
Cuchillo
delightful
carnicero.
companionship, I must say. Why do you ask about Nicola? Ah, Nicola, a fascinating individual, I must say.
Hola, ¿y usted tenían una aventura?
Oh, my apologies for any confusion. I understand that rumors can spread like wildfire in a place like Vaudeville. But no, there was no affair between Nicola and myself. We simply had a deep friendship based on our common interests. Now, let me show you this exquisite artifact I acquired from the ruins of an ancient Mayan temple. It's truly a remarkable piece, don't you think?
Cuchillos en la colección.
Weapons, you say? Well, yes, I must admit that I have a few intriguing pieces in my collection. Knives, swords, and the like. They have a certain historical significance, you see. Some were used by renowned warriors of the past, while others are more ceremonial in nature. But why this sudden interest in weapons, Detective Martini? Are you perhaps a connoisseur of the martial arts? Or is there another reason behind your inquiry?
Mm, no, de pronto no. De esta estoy segura que es la puta harina, tío. ¿Dejáis?
Oh, Detective Martini, why would you think Monsieur Suxabar is jealous of Haley? He's always been so supportive of my career and our relationship. Monsieur Suxabar is a busy man with his own circus to run, so I don't think he has time for jealousy. But tell me, have you ever seen one of my burlesque performances? The audience always goes wild.
Yo quiero
Let's
volver
see
a
what you
intentarlo.
got. Detective
Hailey
Martini. Interesting
mató a
choice,
esta.
Detective Martini. May I ask you why?
Rivales. María Johnson. Es que a María no tengo ni puta idea. Sigo sospechando de la señora esta. Pero no creo que sea. Voy a intentar investigar más por el tema de los demás. Sobre todo el tema de Nicola. Los cuchillos de carnicero.
Oh, carving knives, you say? Well, I don't have any at the moment, but I heard that Mrs. Johnson from down the street just bought a brand new set. She's been hosting these fancy dinner parties lately. I wonder what she's up to.
Señora Johnson acaba de comprarse uno nuevo. ¿Y quién es la señora Johnson? La señora Johnson.
Oh, Mrs. Johnson. She's probably at her mansion, dining. You know, she lives in that grand house on the hill. I've seen her there with all those important-looking guests. I bet she's planning another extravagant soiree.
¿Qué está el viaggio? ¿Qué acción tenía con... ¿Es con María?
Ah, Maria Jansen, a captivating soul. Our paths crossed occasionally at social gatherings, but our relationship was nothing more than a fleeting waltz in the grand ballroom of life. Like ships passing in the night, our encounters were but mere ripples in the vast ocean of Vaudeville's high society. But alas, detective, I fear I have no scandalous tales to regale you with regarding Maria. Our connection was as shallow as a puddle on a summer's day. Shall we move on to more intriguing matters?
Espera.
Well, detective, analyzing Marina H's heels could provide some valuable information. The presence of any blood, tissue, or fibers on the heels could potentially link them to the crime scene. We could also examine the condition of the heels for any signs of wear and tear, which might indicate frequent use or recent activity. However, it's important to remember that the analysis of the heels alone won't provide a definitive answer. We need to consider all the evidence and circumstances surrounding the case to form a complete picture.
Sí, pero es que eso es fácil, o sea, ya está. ¿Tiene usted pareja?
Oh, Detective Martini, are you asking if I have a partner? Well, let's just say that my heart is a bit of a mystery. But tell me, have you ever seen my burlesque performance? People come from every corner of Europe to see it.
Pues de momento creo que lo voy a dejar por aquí. Es 1 hora y media. Os quería enseñar el juego. A ver, no está mal. El tema de la IA no me termina de convencer porque algunas conversaciones es un poco como darse cabezazos contra algo. Pero ya lo he dicho, yo es que soy muy cateta para estos juegos. No parece malo. Quizá hago otro vídeo intentando terminar el juego. Pero bueno, lo vamos a dejar por aquí, ¿vale, chicos? Así que nada, espero que os haya gustado y nos vemos próximamente. ¡Hasta luego!